closely at this couple. They are weighing a profound question. Is a $500 monthly salary, a very real benchmark for young professionals in places like Cambodia, actually enough to bring a child into the world? We tend to fixate on specific financial thresholds, as if they are magic keys to readiness. We tell ourselves that once our income reaches a certain line, the inherent risk of starting a family will simply disappear. We invent this arbitrary financial finish line because the emotional leap of vowing to spend your life with someone is inherently chaotic. The human brain craves mathematical certainty to protect itself from that risk. But a clean spreadsheet number creates a dangerous illusion. It fails to insulate a couple from the messy, unpredictable reality of actually combining two lives. To figure out what enough actually means, we have to strip away the raw data and look at the daily texture of a household surviving on a razor-thin margin. It is the exhausting physical reality of constantly kicking your legs, scrambling from one payday to the next just to keep breathing. When you are treading water, you develop immediate tunnel vision. You are so terrified of swallowing seawater in the present moment that you literally cannot look at the horizon to plan for tomorrow. Operating in a state of raw survival is taxing. The invisible, low-level panic of just trying to make it to Friday hijacks the cognitive bandwidth required to nurture a romance. So if survival falls short, we need to redefine what living well actually requires. We must move past the idea that it demands extreme wealth or luxury status symbols. Quality living is better measured by internal peace of mind. It is the ability to walk into a clean medical clinic and access healthcare without sheer panic when someone gets sick. The friction in this situation often comes from the fragility of the household. The primary barrier is not the $500 paycheck itself, but the absence of a safety net. A family can be happy living a very modest life. The risk of disaster grows when a household operates exactly one unexpected expense away from collapse. Let's look at how this plays out. Imagine a mundane Tuesday morning inconvenience, a mechanical failure, hitting a household that has zero savings. First, the vehicle fails. Because the husband can't commute, he misses work, leading to a week of lost wages. Without that income, the math for rent stops working. One missed week leads to a late notice, starting an eviction. This stress of losing shelter cascades upward, putting enough pressure on the marriage to shatter the relationship. Extreme financial pressure forces the human body into a permanent, exhausting state of biological fight or flight that drains your internal resources. In that high-stress biological state, your partner can stop looking like a teammate. They start looking like a liability if they spend even a single dollar outside the budget. Now, run that same broken motorcycle scenario for a household with an emergency buffer. The bike breaks, you use your savings to pay the mechanic, and you go to work. Savings act as shock absorbers for the household. They take the force of a life-altering crisis and absorb it, turning a catastrophe back into a manageable Tuesday annoyance. Once we understand that, we can discard the original debate. We need to stop asking if $500 is the correct number to start a family. The more useful metric for readiness is prioritized preparedness, focusing on the stability of the household rather than the raw income number. Possessing an emergency buffer pulls a family out of a defensive crouch. It creates a forward-looking environment where energy is directed towards education and growth. Bringing a partner and a child into a situation lacking these protections is an invitation to share a state of constant, high-stakes vulnerability. We started by looking at the tension between the romantic ideal of starting a family and the cold mechanics of a household budget. But planning for the future is an act of care. Managing a budget together creates the foundation for emotional security that allows a relationship to thrive. Emergency funds provide a layer of protection for the household. They function as emotional shields, allowing you to prioritize your family's peace of mind over the stress of survival. True romance means facing the spreadsheet side by side to ensure you aren't just treading water, but are building dry land together.